Okay, so let's talk about consumer trends since the in 24. So we're going to be talking about evolving consumer behaviors and preferences, and also how does it look like in the Amazon game, and what basically we should be doing about it. So strategies to excel, address challenges, and really elevate the experience or our own performance in the selling game. And TikTok has been really interesting in terms of e-commerce, so let's take a look at it as well. So, okay, I mean, if you read the media, US, Finland, I mean, it doesn't really tell good news about the economy because I guess it's a bit better, but in the US than in Finland, like, I read the Finnish news every day, and it's pretty bleak in Finland, and it's a bit better in the US. But still, there's always been, or not always, but past year at least, there's been this lots of talk about inflation and the economy is just going down the drain and whatever. But what we actually can see here that, most of the consumers actually maintain their spending levels like past 6 months, pretty much. So, it stayed the same. It doesn't, you cannot see it as having a big impact as you would think. So about 16% of consumers actually increased their spending levels in the first quarter. So, despite all this talk and despite these fluctuations in the economic conditions or the seasonal changes, most people are spending like they did during the holidays, which means that steady demand for products and reliable base of customers who are still buying. So, regardless of all this negative talk, it doesn't seem to realize in the day-to-day activities in terms of buying power. So, what can you actually do about it? Well, one thing is that Amazon actually provides different tools about inside Seller Central, plenty of actually useful information that we can use. So one thing is to also utilize these quality alerts to receive these notifications about any product quality issues reported by customers or detected by Amazon systems. So that means that that when the buyer has made any kind of remark about the product inside of Amazon's applications, then it means that we are going to be seeing it inside of Seller Central. Sure, customer reviews, that's an obvious place to check, but it doesn't show everything there. So there's also other places, and especially these like customer returns report, to identify these inequality concerns or issues faced by buyers. And let's say that even if you got some negative false negative information, meaning that, okay, someone said that there's a quality issues because they returned it, because oftentimes, it's like when people return something, they might accidentally just say that, it's just the quality issues, or they didn't like it or whatever. So, it's something that we should be aware of. And then actually do these things, fix the issues, whatever we find, and then absolutely always use these product inspection services. So these reports actually allow us to, assess the product quality, return rates, refund rates, and inventory turnover. I remember one time I hired some company to do analysis of one of our Seller Central account. That was a US account. And, when she was going through, I don't know anymore remember what was the reason I did this. I guess I just wanted to be aware of everything, like also the status of our account and everything. And then, she started saying that, oh, no, why do you have this amount of refunds? Like, oh, this is not good. I mean, Tony, you need to fix this. I mean, these refund rates are, shouldn't be on this level. And by the way, it was nowhere near the level that, where you get in trouble with Amazon. No, it was far below that. But her perception was that, no, it should be practically zero. These refunds and these issues in order to really maintain a good account. But basically, before I hired her, I never even looked into this. I never even, cared that much about all these different reports. But she kind of like opened my eyes that, this is something that I need to be aware of and to maintain a healthy level of the account. So you can download these reports, fulfillment, FBA customer returns, and then there's a file that you just download and so on. So inventory management, that's another feature to use inside of Seller Central, is to be able to get these different alerts about low stock levels. And like we discussed some weeks ago, now Amazon is also introducing these additional fees if you are all the time like hitting too low levels of inventory, because you need to understand that what Amazon wants is to give great customer experience. And if you as a customer want to order something and it's out of stock, then how do you feel? Like typically you're going to be feeling like disappointed. So Amazon doesn't want to disappoint their customers either. So that's why they are creating these incentives for sellers that, don't run out of stock and don't have too much stock either, right? Because then you're just taking way too much space out of Amazon's warehouse. So yeah, specific criteria when to reorder products, like reaching a certain sales threshold or predefined time interval. And the way, you can create all sorts of difficult or complicated things, but simple way we did this was that, we had the rule that, okay, let's just have less than 2 months of inventory, inside of 2 months of sales inventory with the supplier, another like 2 months, less than 2 months in the fulfillment warehouse. But it kind of also depends what kind of volume it is. So it might actually be that, it also matters like what is your shipping time. So if you are, for example, sourcing from US and selling in US, you can quickly get like inventory inside of the fulfillment center, or using upstream storage, or then you're using a third party warehouse or whatever, like freight forwarder, then no worries, then you can have less of buffer, right? So regularly just check these inventory for slow moving or obsolete products, and excess inventory, then sometimes you just need to liquidate it or then run promotions, which is a better option to free up the storage space and reduce these long-term storage fees. And I can tell you that paying these long-term storage fees doesn't feel good, because you're basically paying Amazon like extra additional fees for storing the goods that are not selling. So you're not like getting money out of those either. So that's why do everything you can to avoid that. So you can set up these alerts here. So set up pre-replenishment alerts under Manage FBA inventory. And then you just set up the threshold. So weeks of cover, or when fully fillable quantity reaches a certain amount, and so on. Okay, so positive customer service. Obviously, I mean, better ratings, referrals, sales. So using these different kind of follow-up messages, sort of direct but polite messages, you know, easy to follow instructions, crucial product details, vouchers, and so on. And you can also practice empathy using the 5 A's: acknowledge, appreciate, assure, action, and apologize. And that's actually one thing we did from day one, pretty much, because I decided that I want to give good customer experience, I mean, no matter what. So even if like the customer wasn't happy with the product, so I would easily just keep them. And no, I mean, I can refund the item and you can keep the item. You don't need to return it. Or let's say that, you know, the item broke, which is then, okay, our fault. Then I also like was really generous that I mean, no worries, I will refund it. And actually I will also decently send another unit. But obviously it depends on the price of the items that you're selling. Okay, let's say that if you would be selling something of hundreds of dollars, then you wouldn't be sending. You wouldn't be so gracious with those. So that it kind of depends. But the point is to be concerned in giving good customer experience. Okay, overall online spending. Yeah, so people are being picky about where they spend extra cash. So what we can actually do is that, you know, price competitive but not desperate, which means that you need to take into considerations all the costs for profitability, setting the minimum price. Minimum price would be break even, including advertising and everything. And because, I mean, what's the point in selling products if you're actually making a loss, unless it's part of your strategy, meaning that you just want to, you know, increase your ranking, increase your organic sales and whatnot. And one thing when you're doing these price cuts is that if you're running any kind of deals, then you need to take into considerations that, okay, if like, because, you know, those deals are going to be based on historic pricing. So let's say that you would lower the price like right now, then that means that your deal upcoming months is going to be based on the price that to the lowest price that you just offered. So that's not cool. So that's why you need to think ahead, like when you're changing the price and if you're going to be doing any kinds of deals. And yeah, I mean, there's also this Amazon's repricing tools, so on. But anyway, like if you're just having a few SKUs, then I mean, it makes sense to do it manually instead of using the tool. So images. Obviously, since we are not selling, since people are not able to, you know, touch the products and whatnot, then I mean, we are solely based on the perception that the people get. So based on the images, that what kind of impression the images give on the product. So images speak for the product, and that's why we want to invest in high quality images, meaning that you have a high skilled editor, 3D artist, the expertise that can really product to life visually. But the one thing to keep in mind is that, like, when you're just testing out the idea, when you're just in the validating process, I mean, who cares, like, if you have high quality images? No. I mean, that's not the thing to optimize, because if you really need to get the best quality images, you need to get the best quality everything, top-notch product listing, just in order to compete with everyone else, then it's probably gonna be pretty competitive market, which means that it's not necessarily something where you want to sell anyway. And mobile viewing, I mean, that's super duper important. So that's something to keep in mind. And here we can actually see two different listings, and then we can see that it's both were released at the same time, and we can see that the one on the left is selling far more than the one on the right. So 200 units per month versus 5 units per month. And surprising thing here is that, can you see the price difference? Like the one on the right is like $10, whereas on the left it's like $22. Quite a difference there, but still the one on left is selling far more. So meaning that they're basically having a better offer. And so many people are always like when they launch a product on Amazon, especially if they're new, they are going to say that, yeah, but I'm going to do the best product, and yeah, I'm going to do this, and but thing is that people don't want the best product, because the best usually means it's going to be costly, meaning that premium pricing, right? But the thing is that people want the best offer. So what is the best offer? Meaning, one thing about the offer is, of course, you could argue that, hey, this is only $10. That's the best offer. Yeah, but offer means other things than just the price. It means like the whole thing. Like, how do you actually look like? Because when people are not able to get their the product on their hands, then they're going to be making their decision based mainly on images and other aspects of the product listing, which means like you don't need to even think about this for too long, because you can like, obviously, the one on the left, just by a quick glimpse already looks like a better offer, even though technically it isn't, because the one on the right is much lower price, and pretty much it's going to be the same product. So demographics. So we can consider these different segments, baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z. So you can see basically the years that these groups are defined. But let's take a look at this, what's the trending spending actually looking like. So we can see like 21% of Gen Z and millennial shoppers have increased their overall spending this quarter, which means it's gonna be more the younger folk. Well, younger, I didn't say young. Like, if you were born 81, you're 40, in your 40s, right? So one thing to consider is also that actually a lot of people prefer where do they get their information regarding what to buy. So Amazon is the top choice for product search across all generations. So Gen X is 56 and baby boomers. But if you just look at Gen Z, then it's going to prefer YouTube or TikTok, whereas like Gen X and baby boomers, they basically start searching for products on Google or other search engines. So the question here is that, okay, if they are looking for a product, like, where do they actually start their search? So majority of people still started on Amazon. So this is also something that we need to consider, like who is the person who is actually buying our products. And oftentimes it can be that it's not the actual user of the product. For example, with men's socks, it's usually the wife or mother, or like grandma or whoever who's buying those socks, whereas the user is like male, right? So that's why like if it's a different person actually buying and using it, then the listing has to be made in a different manner. So the point here is just to be aware of that. Who is your target audience? That who are you actually selling, and what kind of like preferences they have? Like, okay, baby boomers, obviously high quality photos with clear details, right? And they're like emotional appeals, family moments. Yeah, makes sense. Then 10x more about lifestyle, or millennial. I mean, it's going to be more user-generated content, and then we have the TikTok generation who just prefers like short video clips to demonstrate these products in action. So this means that, okay, then we actually want to enhance the product listings and ads according to the preferences of the main customers generation. So I mean, obviously it could be that all these groups are buying our product. Yes, I mean that's perfectly reasonable to assume. But what is our main audience? Who is the main group that's actually buying our product? And that's where we want to focus on that with all our like marketing efforts. So lifestyle images showcasing the product in use. I mean, that's going to be resonating more Gen X and baby boomers than preference for like practicality and functionality. So that means that you can also, it doesn't only apply on the product listing. It also applies to advertising as well, because it's going to mean the keywords that you're going to be bidding on, such as like reliable kitchen appliances or time-saving gadgets, whether you're capturing the attention of Gen X or baby boomers who prioritize convenience and quality. Then, using the language that actually resonates with the target audience. So for baby boomers, absolutely, it should be about durability and longevity. Whereas for Gen Z, it could be more about innovative design and versatility and so on. And of course, things like this are not cast in stone. But the point is to also give you like a bit of a direction on where you should be heading at. And then Gen Z, doing these fun, creative videos and also showcase this like authenticity and entertainment. But one thing is also to that it actually requires a bit of research. Like, let's say that, especially if you're selling a product that you don't have any expertise on, it's not your passion, it's not your niche, it's not whatever, it's just a product that you just started selling. And by the way, that's not a big deal at all. We do have plenty of those kind of products that I have zero interest in that niche, zero interest. But it's just a product that we launched and hoops, it's taking off. So that's why we are selling it, just because, it started getting traction. But that also means that, then I need to do some research on figuring out that, okay, so who are these people who's buying it? Okay, I can see that it's California. But that's the biggest state, so it doesn't tell me anything. But what's the age, what's the household income, education, gender, and marital status, and so on. But thing is that if you have too small of a group, it doesn't mean anything. Like same thing in statistics, you need like at least 1,000 people, or usually you need like not at least, but usually you take like 1,000 people to get this. Kind of like analysis. But let's take a look in Seller Central. So great thing is that nowadays you can see these demographics like dashboard directly inside of Seller Central, which means that you can take a look at, I mean, who are these people who is actually buying my products here? So you can see the age group, you can see about their information about their income, you can see information about their education as well. So I mean, this is actually great information to give us but a bit of an insight into their like information, because it also means like when we're using, like, let's say external paid traffic, then this is the information that we should be using, which means that if we realize that this is actually mostly males in their 30s or 40s are buying our product, then okay, cool. I mean, let's focus all our like external advertising mostly on them, right? Okay, popular products. So what are these consumers buying? So we already noticed that, okay, I mean, people are actually buying more, so the spending habits have increased last quarter, but what are they actually spending their money on? Okay, so here we have a list of categories of year-to-year sales increases ranging from 6 to nearly 30%. So arts is basically number one out of this. Then bed supplies, beauty, and home and kitchen doesn't really surprise. But what we can see is that video games, camera, photo, appliances, and also toys is going down. Well, I mean, obviously toys, because, you know, holiday season is over. So that means that, you know, toys always gets a big bump during the holiday season. So obviously January, February, March is going to be lower than the O&D. Okay, so we can see that this category here is going up. But of course, we could also argue that, yeah, I mean, it's Easter. So during Easter, people like to doing eggs and these kind of crafty stuff. So, okay. But is there any other trendy craft, like recent, like this art or calligraphy that you can cater to? And one thing is that, you know, if it's just a seasonal thing, like let's say that, okay, next quarter it would go down again. Okay, fine. Then, I mean, then it's a seasonal thing, and it's not necessarily something that we should basically would tap onto, besides just doing those seasonal listing optimizations. So higher quality starter kits, video tutorials. Yeah, I mean, partner with YouTubers, TikTokers for reviews and reads. So pet supplies. Yeah, pet supplies, that's also kind of like more evergreen category. So you could actually focus on specific breeds or active lifestyles. For example, orthopedic dog beds for senior pups. Yeah. But I mean, people actually do that. People buy all sorts of fancy beds for their pets. And by the way, who am I to say anything? I know that my spouse actually bought for our dog some kind of special bed. I don't remember anymore it was, but it was something about, you know, calming it down or whatever, right? Yeah. So people do that. So beauty, I mean, subscriptions, sustainable beauty products, organic bath bombs. Yeah, I mean, bath bombs, I mean, that's a huge trendy thing that's already being ongoing for a few years at least. And also, like when I was in Dubai with my family, I mean, my spouse and daughter like wanted to buy these bath bomb stuff. I mean, I don't know, I don't understand why it doesn't make sense for me, but fine. I mean, you can see that, I mean, it's kind of like been this increasing trend past years already. So who are you targeting? Working moms, men's skincare. And by the way, that's also an interesting approach to think about, like when you're looking for different product opportunities, product ideas. Sometimes it actually makes sense to start from the demographics and go backwards from there. Like, let's say that I would love to have a brand focused for working moms, because women are big buyers, big spenders. So what about working moms? I can understand that for working moms, I mean, they are busy taking care of their family, kids, and always complaining that the dad doesn't do anything, and they are doing all the work. So what are these women actually interested in? So like I'm always saying, like, there's millions of different ways how to find product opportunities, and it's 100% like creative approach. So that means that you should also keep an open mind when thinking it. So sometimes it might be a good practice to start with niche first, and then go to Amazon to see that, okay, what's going on this niche? Like, what if I want to sell something for working moms, then what could it actually be? Okay, stores. Yeah. I mean, where people buy. Obviously, Walmart, Target, Walgreens in US, and online is going to be Amazon, Walmart, eBay. But we can actually see that, I mean, Walmart has declined, I mean, their website by 15%. And, at least like in the physical store, I mean, if you go to a Walmart versus if you go to a Target, you will see completely different type of people in the US. So Walmart has more like specific kind of people, whereas like Target has different kinds of people. So that's also something to like understand, like, okay, I mean, the sales of Walmart online sales of Walmart going down, but you can also understand that, okay, what kind of like people buy there, and like who are the also like what are the products and brands that actually perform best there. And I mean, another thing is also like, it depends what you're selling on, that where people actually buy it. So in store, I mean, art supplies, home, kitchen, beauty, personal care, over-the-counter medications, obviously, baby, yeah. Online, electronics, books, exercise equipment, okay. So where do people then shop this most? But for another example here is that, I mean, electronics, exercise, but I mean, I mean, electronics is a highly competitive market, so it doesn't really make sense in terms of, I mean, it totally depends what you sell, and if you have expertise. For example, we also have like, some of our students are selling different kinds of drills, like electric drills and so on. Well, I mean, as a beginner, like, would you sell that kind of product? No way. I mean, it would make no sense to start with that kind of like category. But here, I mean, in their case, they actually have expertise in that area. I mean, they already have the know-how. I mean, they know everything about how these products are manufactured and so on. So obviously, if you have the competitive advantage, you have the expertise and so on, then I mean, then it makes total sense. Like, okay, I mean, obviously you should be selling in this category, even though it's a bit more complex. Yes. Okay, what's here? Pets. Yeah. I mean, if you're thinking like what kind of, yeah, I mean, pets is obviously going up because how pets are treated in the Western countries versus in Asia. I mean, in the West, I mean, pets are seen more like family members, so they actually play much bigger part than in Asia. So that also means like people are going to be spending more in the well-being of their pets. So what you can basically do is that you can identify this hyper-specific needs, like one thing that we have been discussing past week is that when you're like looking for different needs, then you're going like deeper, meaning that okay, if you just would sell something like organic serums, so no, I mean it would be for some specific purpose, like it for acne, it's for or blemishes or something really specific. So meaning that you're able to tailor the whole product, the whole packaging, the whole product name, the whole maybe even the whole brand name for that product niche in question. So if that's something that you would be doing, then I mean you also need to be really deep in the niche, meaning that you need to watch a lot of videos that okay, what's going on here, and also have these relatable stories that the influencers can use in their content, like when you're doing like user generated content. Yes, then yeah, okay, home and kitchen. Yeah. I mean, the point is that I mean, one another aspect is that when you're looking for different product ideas, then it doesn't make sense to be tied to a specific category. It makes a lot more sense to, have the flexibility to looking into different categories and kind of like having an open mind about it, and don't make it too stressful. I mean, just start with super low criteria, which means that I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just here to gather my backlog of product ideas. Like, oh, okay, this seems pretty good, so you just add it on the list, and you keep building your list, and it doesn't matter. You can have like 50 product ideas on your list, and then you just make it so that you take a look on your backlog, and then you kind of like prioritize the way which one seems the best, and then you keep like 10 best ideas for your VA to gather all the information, like get quotes and so on, right? So point is to make like product research also stress-free, and in the manner that you enjoy doing it, because if you're feeling stressed, it's super difficult to be creative and innovative. So instead it's more like, okay, I mean, no worries, let's just spend 15 minutes a day on Amazon to see that okay, what's going on. Yes, and one thing is also, I mean, when you're browsing on Amazon, you can also might like see these different gaps in the market. So look for categories with no clear winner. I mean, then that's a gap for real for you to fill. Like if you're looking at all the sellers and seems like, well, I mean, I know this market, I know what people are looking for, but I mean, none of these sellers are actually providing it. And you can see in the reviews that people are also like complaining about it. Then I mean, then that's the gap, right? Yeah. So having a strategic approach, and then standing out from the crowd. Okay, so yeah, let's say that you love baking, and you notice how baking supplies are spread across different sellers on Amazon. So there's no clear favorites. So okay, that's a good sign that hungry customers are out there, and people might buy from like various sellers because they can find everything they need in one place, or prices are all over the map. So yeah, but actually one thing to understand is that most people when they buy on Amazon, they think that the seller is Amazon. They don't know about any third-party sellers. And for a lot of products, like let's say dog leash, like, do you care who made that dog leash? Do you care about the brand of the dog leash? No, I mean, it's just a dog leash. I mean, but obviously, if you would buy some kind of cosmetics item, like something that you put on your skin and you have realized that actually this is actually really good for my skin type and whatever, then you have loyalty. You're going to be buying that product like all the time. So there's differences in brand loyalty based on the product, like depending how important it is. But it's not only about that. Like why would people buy Mr. Beast chocolate, which is, from what I understand, it's pretty expensive. Like small chocolate bar costs like $10 or whatever. Like, why would people pay much higher price for just, the same chocolate bars? I mean, there's nothing special about it. Pretty much, from what I understood, it stays the same as like any else, but still it's like much more expensive. No, it's about the brand. It's about something that speaks to the audience and matters to the audience. So technically, you could do the same thing even with like dog leashes, meaning that okay, the product itself doesn't really like raise these strong emotions or whatever, but that doesn't mean that the brand story of the brand story wouldn't, because it also gives this option or opportunity to create this kind of like story that would be like resonate with the audience, and people would feel that, yeah, I mean, this is a brand that really speaks to me, and I want to buy all products that they're selling for my pet. I mean, if it's something that makes sense to them, even though the product is just a dog leash like any other product. Basically, that it's something that they could buy from any manufacturer, and it wouldn't make any difference on their life, right? Okay. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I mean, you can always add specific things, kind of like highlight like why do you matter, meaning that, okay, you showcase different tools in action with one-liner testimonial from an experienced user, like, oh, okay, it's so good, say goodbye to clumpy batters or wasted ingredients, or highlight your expertise in the listing and brand story, meaning that, okay, this is my brand, I'm Lily, and I created this brand because, I was experiencing this kind of pain and this kind of issue. Then I had the idea for this solution, and I created this. There was no solution in the market, so I had to create the solution by myself, and my life has never been the same since, right? Something like that. So and one thing is that being the cheapest, that's one way how you can definitely get market share. Like usually, I mean, there's two ones that will strive. I mean, being the cheapest, or then being the premium option. But can you really be the cheapest and still be able to make profit? I mean, if you have some expertise or some like advantage, meaning that it's your own factory or whatever, and cool. I mean, then you can definitely be the cheapest. But in most cases, when doing private label, you don't have the option to be the cheapest, because the supplier can be the cheapest there. So that means that then you need to have something else going in order to make it like worthwhile. So then option is that you build the trust, value these quality tools, baking knowledge, and and offering this helpful content, excellent customer service, and having this store, having something that they actually can resonate with. Yeah, majority, say 71% of customers look for the product with the lowest price. No surprise there, because price, that's always the main deciding factor. I mean, that's not mainly the that's not the only factor, but it's definitely going to be the main factor, because we already, but I mean, that doesn't mean that you will automatically succeed. Like we saw the case of those two different listings. I mean, launch say on the same date, but the other was selling 200 per month, whereas other one, the cheaper one, was selling only 5 per month, even though it was basically double the price. So what actually influences these purchase decisions? I mean, affordability is definitely crucial, but still, like, if you are talking about $10, 20, 30, 40, I mean, if it's not drastic difference, then it's not gonna be making that big of a impact, right? So then other factors actually play a role. So we can also see here that prices declined in 15 out of 24 main categories, and then price increased in 11 categories, with industrial and scientific leading at 63%. Okay. So inflation uncertainty, I mean, that's kind of like always concern for people running businesses, that, oh no, I mean, how will my business succeed now when there's economy turmoil or whatever? So it kind of also tells you, like, for example, the same thing like Greg was saying, that, you know, he had the biggest success, or he had a lot of success during the dot-com bust, which means that, I mean, economy was going down the drain pretty much, but he was still like succeeding. So there's going to be, I mean, rising inflation has affected spending, and okay, household income is unstable, but it also means like that then you just need to be doing what you're doing like better, instead of just throwing in the towel, right? So we can see that, you know, inflation has eased, but still impacts the spending habits, and shows pretty normal levels of inflation. Yeah, I mean, normal stuff. So people are more budget conscious, but then we just focus on offering value. So it could mean that, I mean, you offer some complementary items, but the thing is that you don't need to necessarily have something too costly or anything to something that, you know, would make it much more expensive. You know, it can be pretty simple. It just needs to be that you're using creativity to come up with something interesting. So I've been using these different tools by Amazon also to find this what's going up and so on. So one thing is to also like use these different tools like that Zenless Central has, that we already went through, and also to understand your own needs, understand your own products. Like, okay, if you were selling board games and you noticed that, oh, there's a surge in sales for family-friendly games during summer vacations, then okay, fine. This summer it gets this nice bump, then increase the stock and, you know, decrease inventory for these strategy games. So it's about understanding that what is the peak for your products. Then, I mean, highlighting value propositions for existing products. Yes. All right. We're running out of time. But another conclusion is that, you can actually bundle complementary products to create this value, and just to have the best offer. So always focus on having the best offer. Forget about the best product, because typically people are not willing to pay for the best product. So instead, what we can always do is to have the best offer, meaning we have the best looking product listings, we have the best looking images, we have the best looking packaging that really stands out in the images and everything. So then you can also combine like frequently bought items in a bundle, like camping tent, sleeping bag, and so on. All right. Yes. So trends are going, so just being conscious about it. Okay, so yeah, about TikTok. TikTok has been on the news, especially about this potential ban in the US. So it will be interesting to see what happens. But still, it plays a massive role in the society, in the Western world, and there's all this talk that it's ruining our kids. They cannot focus anymore, and in China they have a totally different version, more limited version. And I think in China it's even said so that kids can only spend like less than 40 minutes per day or whatever. Was it like if you're below 13 years old, and then additionally like there's something about this rapid like short form content after content after content after content. So what they're doing in China that they're adding gaps in time, meaning that people don't get this instant gratification of the next things. No, there's usually like 3-second pause or whatever it is, whereas the unfiltered version that we have in the West, there's just video after video after video after, which assumedly ruins or has some negative implications on your brains, especially for children. It makes total sense. So will be kind of interesting to see what happens. But anyway, TikTok is huge, and not just for kids, but adults as well. And yeah, Gen Z, 70% of people actually purchase directly or on TikTok, and more than 40% are the most likely to make a purchase on social media. But of baby boomers, it's going to be just 20%. But you can also use it to find like new product ideas, new product opportunities. So it's also how our team is also like looking into different kinds of new ideas. Personally, I don't like using TikTok, but I do use it for these kind of purposes, like work-related stuff. So why do actually people shop there? It's just the convenience, it's the ease of use, because people are already there, so they might as well just buy directly for there. And obviously, they use it for entertainment, engaging with the content and creators, and wanting to support small and independent businesses. That's kind of the thing that you can also always use in US as well, saying we are small family-owned business, so it's more like appealing to consumers. And we can see that 35% browse or like on TikTok like once a week, and 20% are like have bought a product directly from TikTok. But we should actually, this is something that we should tap on because we can reach a new generation of shoppers, and it's it's not like, you know, on Instagram, like where you have to kind of like build the following, and the success of your next video is going to depend how your last video was. I mean, that's just the way how the algorithm works. But in TikTok, there is no such thing, which means that even if you have posted 0 videos and now it's your first video, I mean, it can take off. It's not based on history alone, or I mean, as much as it is with these other platforms. So that's why, like, there's much more likelihood that you're gonna go viral on TikTok instead of Instagram. Yeah, so massive user base. Yes, yeah. And I mean, Amazon is also pushing like TikTok partnership pretty heavily. So there's a reason why they do that, because they see that, you know, it actually, you know, is having positive impact on Amazon sales. All right, let's see. Yeah, I mean, you can also use it to find hot new product for sure. So you can actually save links, meaning that you include your Amazon storefront link in your TikTok bio for easy access for these featured products. And, you know, using these hashtags, Amazon finds and Amazon favorites. And you also have the ability to, you know, engage with the audience and follow trends, update the storefront. And, you know, if you're doing it, then, you know, be consistent. Okay, so it just gives you more flexibility and kind of like less dependency on Amazon as well. So like obviously, if you are selling only on Amazon, still it makes sense to do something that can actually complement what you're already doing, because, you know, then it gives you the option to work with these different creators and also do your own videos to reach these potential customers. We still have content. Barney has added a lot of slides. So what are Amazon updates? Okay. Oh, finally, last slide. So now we can sell also in Brazil. Has someone already expanded to Brazil? I know we haven't, but it works with this North American account. So you can then easily manage listings and orders across different marketplaces. So check it out if you are if you want to give it a go. But right now I can say that I know nothing about Brazil, and I don't really know how good a market it is. So time will tell that if it's something worthwhile expanding to.